Okay, this is the 2023 garden plot. Here's all these peppers here. Greg pulled something in his back. We're not going to do the middle stage. We're just going to take them from this pan and put them in the ground. It's almost twice the size of last year, and I think I'm going to be doing 5 rows of 8. My goal is 40. Let's see how it goes. It's probably going to be a 2-day endeavor. It's pretty warm out here too. There's 39 and 40, and who's that right there? Who's that right there? 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. And there's some of these that are still double stalked. I don't know if I'm going to let go. I've got plenty of room for both of them to go. I've got several that are 2. I guess depending on how they fare. And here's my little helper, my new helper. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. She loves rolling around in the dirt, don't you? Don't you, girl? She's a feisty little booger. And she's getting in the water and helping me water in the garden. There's my big cat garden helper back from his vacation, helping me. This is another shot for Greg. This is Sunday the 9th of July. And we're going to look at some of these are huge, or they're getting big. Let's put it, and this is kind of early in the season for some of them to be this big. This is after the first weed till. It's been a bad year for weeds, actually. This is for Greg. Just a garden update. And of course a helper update. Sure is good to have him back. The other cat's inside sleeping. Seems to be coming up good. I've got a couple of small ones over here and some doubles. I'm probably going to thin those out later this week, depending. Good shot. Good pepper garden. What we're going to do, oops, got a helper. As I've got some doubles and triples, and I'm going to look at those a little closer. I just watered everybody, and going to see how this goes. One of my helpers, she's turning out to be a beautiful cat. And there's that monster there. So we're going to look at the doubles and triples and see what we need to pull. Thanks, guys. This plant here had 4. And I clipped, hey buddy. And I clipped the 2 smallest ones. They were this big. So now I've got 2 here. And the stems are, for some reason, the stems just aren't real strong when they start out. Or even when they get bigger. See, they all curl over. See, like that's got to curl over. And then it goes down, and they all seem to do that. And I'm just picking off big leaves, a couple of big leaves here and there. This right here looking real good. Now, some of them's already got blossoms on them. This one's got dirt on it. Let's see here, yeah. Okay. Get some of his leaves off. Alrighty. This was another triple. And I pulled this one here. Look at the root on it was just completely going going crazy. So I picked that one. This one had 5, and now I've reduced it to 4 because I plucked this one. right out of the middle. I want to see which one of these. It looks like that one right there is not doing real good. I'm going to go ahead and pull it. Now, there's 3 here. We'll just have to see how those 3 come around. This one here is 2 plants, and they both seem to be doing good. And it looks also like some of them have actually joined at the root and kind of like operating off one root system. So the only thing you could do is cut it up top, which I'm not going to do. Those look good. This one here's got 3, and I'm going to pick the smallest one. Well, there we go. It's the smallest one right there. This one here is the last of the doubles. All those there were all out of the singles trays. Some beautiful plants there. And actually it looks like a triple. Looks like a triple. So I'm going to pull the one in the middle, but I'm going to cut it. That looks, I'm going to cut it right there. And then we'll check on this guy later and see how he's doing. So here's how. It's pretty good size for a cutting, but now we'll probably see those 2 right there just shoot right up. And that's for today. Okay, this is Saturday the 5th of August. Our plants are doing really good. It looks like we're about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ahead of schedule. And I've picked the bottom leaves on this last row here. Everything that's covered with mud or turned the wrong way, I clip it. Everything's doing real good. And there's a criminal. There's a criminal. And that right there is the plant that that broke away. That was one of my biggest plants, and you can hardly tell that the greater half of it is now gone. But here's a good shot down there of the leaves that I pick off. And there's a criminal down there, wallowing around in the mud. I have a little update here, showing these plants are getting big now. They're really shooting up. I've got about most of them staked out. I've got more stakes coming. And this is how I do it rather than tomato cages, because I can't get my hands in and out of tomato cages. There's a little criminal right there. Here's that other monster. And some of these are just loaded with peppers. And so many of them are just loaded with more blossoms too. So you can see some right there. Looking good, looking good. See those peppers on that one down there? Really nice. Hey girl. I'm gonna check out the pepper garden. I've got them all staked up as best as I can see for now. What's that down there? Sometimes she's hard to see. Now if you're wondering what I do with that cage there, that's what I store my my stakes in while I'm staking the stuff up. Let's move around a little bit here. Some of these plants are just covered with peppers. Here's one here. Looks like a Madame Jeanette. Well, you don't know for sure until they get ripe. Because a lot of, if you haven't noticed, these pepper plants all look the same, don't they? Got them staked down. Now I don't think I'm going to lose any more due to the wind. They're staked up pretty hefty. Isn't that right, Isis? She loves playing in the pepper garden. Look at all those down there. My goodness. It's just covered. Covered. And looks like the transplants and the runts, they did come up. They're not loaded with peppers, at least for now, but I'm expecting some of them to have some peppers. But that last row there, that was my that was one of my weakest plants. That row there. Some of them are looking real good. I believe some of those are 7 pots. What's that right there? You having fun, girl? Okay, this is Sunday, August the 27th. Got a helper there. Right there. There's our helper. And we're going to take a walk through the garden. And it's going to show some of these plants. I guess that one right there is my tallest plant, and it's about 4 feet, and it's a 7 pot. It's a 7 pot. Hey, girl. And it's covered, and it's doing great. I've got a couple of ripe ones off of it so far. And here's another real tall one. This one's about 3.5 feet. And all of these are doing really good. Really good. You see that that reaper there is loaded. Indeed. And several of these, this one's covered with blossoms. That one's covered with peppers. I've only got a couple that aren't covered with peppers. That looks like a 7 pot there. And these reapers and Madame Jeanettes, I believe this whole row over here is Madame Jeanette's. And here you can kind of see how I stake them up. When the limbs get so heavy, or I can tell that they're just going to be weighted down with the peppers, I go ahead and put like a Y with the stakes. And here's my stake bucket here, right there. And some of these are just bushing out like crazy, same as last year. And that monster there is at least 4.5 feet wide. And here's what I like doing is once you see how these guys bush out, then it really cuts down on the weeds, because there's just so much of the overgrowth, the weeds can't get a good start on. There's some ripe ones down there just coming in. Looks like reapers. How's a girl? Isis. Little lady Isis. Where's the big cat? He's taking a nap, I'm sure. That plant right there is one that the whole inside of it was pushed in. The part with the peppers on it was pushed in, and that right there was what was just surviving coming out of the ground. And now you can see that it is pretty doggone big. It survived. And what gets me is that tall one right there, that was a backup transplant. Pretty sure. But you can see here now, some of these are just covered. There's one in here, if I can find it again. that is probably, it's not ripe. Look at the size of these guys here. There's one that's, I think it's a chocolate habanero. And if you ought to see those online to see what they look like. They don't look anything or taste anything like a regular habanero. Now that plant there is covered with buds, but I don't see any peppers. Well, maybe a couple little small ones. But some of these are just covered. This plant here has got probably 10 pounds worth of peppers on it. Look at that coming in. And that's just since this morning. That is what has ripened just since this morning. It don't take long. I can go through, no joke, I can go through and pick off all the big sucker leaves, like on that plant there. See all those huge leaves need to come down, come off. And go through the garden, pick all the big leaves, and then an hour later or a couple hours later, they're covered with big leaves again. And you can see there how the stems all kind of moved to the west, excuse me, to the east due to the west wind. But all these are staked up so far, and I've got, oh gosh, another, I guess 75 or so stakes. So, and I like doing that because I can post them in different places to compensate for the weight. Those out there just covered with peppers. We had about an inch of rain last night. Perfect. Ain't that right, girl? Okay, this is Labor Day. Give a pepper update on my plants here. You see those big ones there? The tallest ones are those 7 pots. And they're all just loaded with peppers. Just loaded. I've probably already gotten several pounds off of them. That 7 pot there is the Grandiose. It is over 4 feet tall, I would say. And of course it's covered. There's Matt down there mowing in the field. Anyway, great plants. We've harvested, harvested 5 pounds, about 5 pounds I'd say, just about 15 minutes ago. And they're looking good. I got one plant that's about to croak, but I had other plants croak there. It must be the spot or something. But these plants are loaded. They're all staked up. We got more stakes ready to go. Got several pictures of huge plants, even online from years ago. And this is typical size for my pepper plants. And that one back there is almost 5 feet. And it's a 7 pot. All 1, 2, 3, 4 of these tallest ones are all 7 pot. Let's go look at some of these peppers here. All right, I'm gonna go through here. You see all these stakes. You really have to watch. You have to wear safety glasses because you can't see all the stakes. But here's a peculiar one. And I gave Greg one of these yesterday. And I got to get down here. And we're going to look. Let's see. No, that's not the right one. It's this one. It's this one. Yeah, here they are. Okay. Now these peppers, they start out dark green like this right here. And then they turn a brown like that right there. And then they turn this bright orange. And I don't know what kind of peppers. I think Greg pulled one on me this year. I don't know what these are. They're not I know what they are not. They're not ghosts. They're not bootless. Some kind of offshoot of scorpion, perhaps. They got stingers. But Greg's had one. He may be able to tell by the taste of it. Okay, this could be a chocolate habanero or a chocolate scorpion. One or the other. It's got the stinger on it, but I'm not sure yet. And maybe Greg can enlighten some on that because he's eaten one. He says, hey girl, regardless of what this is, we've got like 3 plants of them. This one seems to 3 or 4 plants, And this one is the first one to blossom and produce. She loves getting in the water spray, don't you, girl? Now here's one of the taller 7 pots, and let me focus in on that. Now, you see that stinger? That stinger right there is over 1 inch long. Yep. And it's just covered. It's just covered. And so many of these are just so covered. Right now I'm getting 5 pounds a day off of them. That's 10 pounds every other day. And I'm like a week and a half before harvest. Some of these I'm going to have to prop up tomorrow. There's one there that's 6 feet, sprawled out 6 feet in one direction. And all of the stakes in it are small. I can tell most of them, and that means to me it was a huge plant right at the beginning. But all in all, we don't need peppers to be hotter. We just want them to be a little bit tastier and sweeter. I think that's what we've got going on here. So far, so good. The Madame Jeanettes are incredible. The Reapers are incredible. Okay, here's what I got today. I only went down 2.5 rows. Those 2 rows over there and about half of the next one. And these don't have as many peppers on them, but I just didn't get to them. But you see here, got 2 bags, probably about 5 or 6 pounds a piece. And these 7 parts are coming in. 7 pots. Look at the stinger on those. And there's got some in there. Stingers, just real long. I don't know what to do with them. All right. All right. Weather's cooling down a little bit. Almost cool enough to do a harvest. Just keeping the ripe ones down. But the plants still aren't. I guess they're maybe 25%. The ones that are really bearing fruit right now are 25%. Yum. Okay, yesterday I spent 2 hours going through the whole garden, and I picked up maybe, what would you say, 50 pounds? At least 50 pounds. And that's what me and Bobby's been doing. He's here from Mascoutah. He's a big hot pepper fan. And we just had so many peppers. And I've still got so many to, the harvest season is just now beginning. And you can see, like on this plant here, these are Carolina Reapers, Peach Reapers. And I picked everything off of it yesterday. And now it's covered. This one's covered. And that big one over there that was like 6 feet wide, there's another one that's 6 feet wide. Picked them all clean yesterday, and now they're covered up again. And this one here, I believe, is either a chocolate scorpion or a chocolate habanero. We don't know yet, but they're taking a long time to ripen up. So it kind of makes me want to think that they're scorpions. Here's a plant here, for instance, that I have not gotten the first ripe one off, and it looks like scorpions to me. Does that look like scorpions to you? Here's one that's fallen off, and it looks like a chocolate scorpion, a Trinidad. But the plant's doing great. I mean, look how tall that guy is, and he's not one of the tallest ones. There's another Reaper. This, I believe, is another scorpion, and it just looks like a scorpion because I haven't had anything ripe come off of it. And that's a telltale, because the scorpions have to have a longer growing season. Just a little while ago, we picked everything off of this 7 pot right here. And there's already 2 more that's ripened. Oh, that's almost right. 2 more since we were here. Since we were here, what? 3 hours ago. And so that's how this works. And here's another Madame Jeanette. And this right here grew overnight. Look at the size of these suckers. And let's slide through here. Watch out for that stake there. And you were impressed with the way I got these guys staked up. But I tried other schemes, and they just didn't work. Now we picked everything off of this plant here. About 3 hours ago, and there's that right there, just since we have been here. Here's another one that is got to be some kind of scorpion. You see the stinger on that? That's just some kind of scorpion, and I believe it's akin to that plant there. But all of these over here are Reapers and Madame Jeanettes. I got to put some more stakes on there. Look at, once they get so big, and the branches get so weighted down, even though I've got so many, I've got a bunch of stakes all around this guy. It may have 10 or 15 stakes, it's still not enough. I'm pretty sure that's a 7-pot. If it's not a 7-pot, it's going to be a scorpion. Let's see what that guy there is. Yeah, that's that other scorpion too. Voila. Check those guys out. Scorchers. Scorchers. And that plant is a good solid 5 feet tall. A solid. And the 4 or 5 tallest plants here are 7-pots, except for that one, which I think is a scorpion. But anyway, it's been quite a successful harvest, and we're just now beginning. And you see, man, I've got at least, I would say, another 150 pounds growing here. Would you estimate that much or even more?
Easily.
I'm going to show you here that I have been a busy boy. You see all these frozen, de-seeded Reapers and Madame Jeanettes. That's a Jeanette there. I can tell by looking at the frozen stuff. Jeanettes are yellow, and the Reapers, and just a lot of peppers. A lot of peppers. Now let's go look at some more. And there's my helper. There's my helper. I lost my other helper. And here's what I'm working on right now. I think I'm going to be giving these to one of my neighbors. Just this little bucket. Oh, here's a side tangent here. I bought 5 of these little plastic waste buckets because they're perfect for what I do with my peppers. And this is the label. I was pulling the labels off of them, and this is the reverse of it. Look at that. I'm going to take that to Walmart and ask them what that is. I wonder if I'm being tracked right now. I wonder if that thing is looking at me. Now let's go to the garden. Okay, we're just going to take a brief stroll around here. My helper's in there somewhere. I'm going to go around this way. I'm going to look at some of these. There's Jeanette, Reaper, Jeanette, and Greg is my pepper buddy. And he sprouted all of these that you see here. And he and I work together. And he gets a lot of harvest. So do others. And I got one for Greg. That the Reapers this year appear to be much larger than the Reapers of last year. And I guess it's because we seeded from last year. But the Reapers, these peach Reapers, they're beautiful and they got a good flavor. That's how come most of what you see here is Madame Jeanette and Carolina peach Reapers. And that's because we liked the flavor of them. We liked, they process easier, they process better. You get a lot of pulp. But last year, the Reapers weren't as big and fat and juicy as they are this year. And out of these, 49 plants or 49 positions, look at this guy, just covered. Look at these. This is all Reaper here. Look at that. Just beautiful. And they're just loaded down. And I've probably gotten, I would say, maybe approximately 80 pounds of peppers off of these plants so far. And I'm going to be doing my first harvest in a couple of days. I haven't even put forth a harvest. And out of them, out of all of these, there's 12 that are just some strange. This is a strange kind of scorpion here. And look at the stinger on that sucker. And here's another scorpion of sorts. No, that's not a scorpion. That's some hybrid of something. That's just, but it came from our seeds from last year. Maybe something. Maybe there was some kind of cross pollination in this garden. And here's that one there. This 7-pot is just huge. This is the one that's over 5 feet tall now. And who is that right there? What are you doing here? What are you doing? And she's a tortie. She's got that attitude. There's 12 plants of the super exotics that are not, well, all of them are exotic. I guess your Reapers and your Madame Jeanettes are going to be exotic. Look at the size of those. Look at the size of those. Man, they're huge. And like I say, most of what you see here is Madame Jeanettes and Peach Reapers, and there's 12 plants that are other than that. And let's see, there's like 2 scorpions back there, and there's 5 7-pots, and then we have these. This is a chocolate scorpion. Now, whenever you see the word chocolate concerning the name of some kind of hot pepper, it only means that they are brown or brownish purplish, like that right there. Has nothing to do with chocolate flavor, does it, kid? Does it? There ain't no chocolate flavored hot pepper. It just means the color. Let's see here. Yeah, there's some more. And those are brown scorpions, and they are very, very hot and delicious. But this is what we chose, and me and Greg, our palates are the ones that count. Let's just take a stroll down this way here. And some of these that haven't been putting out, or like this one here, they are starting to come in. Look at that. Get the stinger on that sucker. And it's coming through. And it's not ready to harvest, but I'm ready for my first harvest. And I'll guarantee you I'm probably going to get, oh gosh, 50 or 60 pounds, maybe. Look at these suckers here. Look at that. Man, oh man. Whew. Here's the other one of the others. Here, there's another chocolate. I believe this is, yeah, it's going to be some kind of chocolate or brown scorpion. Where you going, girl? Where you going? So that's where we're at today. And man, they're just doing great. I guess when I'm dead and gone, they'll say, hey, that guy knew how to grow hot peppers. That's for sure. Just getting going. And then after I do my harvest, and I'll be picking all of these. And then I'll wait 2 weeks and do it again, and that'll be all that then the rest of it is just fluff. You coming? You coming? Come on, girl. Come on. She likes to bat around with the peppers because I throw a lot of the peppers that just fall off or are rotted. I just throw them out into this little meadow here, this little mowed place here. You coming? Come on, girl. After filming this, I burned myself. And I said, well, I know I had only touched my face with my left hand. What happened? How did I get pepper sauce on my left hand? Remember when I touched the bucket and I didn't go wash my hands? That's what burned my face. I'm gonna step back here. And now we're starting harvest. As near as I can figure, all of these are Madame Jeanette's. And you see, man, look at the size of some of these guys. They're just delicious, and there's so much good pulp there. Unbelievable. There's a little rotten one. I threw the little rotten ones away. It started raining. I didn't get finished on my second roll. I was just trying to, the weather cooled down, and I was just trying to get what I could before the rain hit. First harvest. This ain't even half. This isn't even half of what I've got to do. And I'm going to let the rain kick these. There's my little helper right there. And I'm going to let the rain soak these, and I'll rinse them off in the morning. Just try to get as much dirt off of them as I can before I start processing them. Beautiful harvest. Okay, I'm still working on my first harvest. Only got about half of it done. And lots of stuff coming in. That 7 pot's covered. Look at all these scorpions in here. And I've just been working for about an hour. Look at those beauties. Look at those beauties. Just making a record of it. As long as the frost holds out. I got too many here to cover. I covered them last year. But this year they're just too big. I got too many of them. I don't have enough plastic or sheets to put over them. Look at these guys, these monsters. These monsters. Mm-hmm. Yum. That right there looks more, I don't know. It's either a scorpion or a brown habby. I still got that line, those 2 lines there. Look at these monsters. There's my helper. Hey, girl. Helping in the garden. Hello, Isis. Hey, kitty. Look at that one there. Just loaded. My. Okay, I'm going to show a couple of things here. And this is just a partial of today's harvest. My second day, still not in the full-scale harvest mode. And these are all kinds of, these you got your chocolate scorpions in here mixed with some 7 pots, mixed with some other scorpions. And so beautiful peppers. And down here, we have some more scorpions and some of the chocolate habaneros, brown habaneros, which I'm going to show more of the differences there between the chocolate habbies and chocolate scorpions. And then right here we've got all Carolina Reapers. And I'm going to show you something that I learned several years ago with Greg and about these peppers. Is we're going to look at them under shortwave UV, and we're going to look at their colors. This is my lamp right here. And now we're going to irradiate them. Okay, it's going to take me 2 hands to do this. But anyway, here's the first, damn it. Here's the first sweep over the Reapers. All kinds of colors in there. I'm not sure how good this phone's going to pick it up. Now let's go over here to the chocolate habbies. And there's those scorpions right there. There's like 6 or 7 scorpions in there. And you'll see that they turn up kind of orangish reddish. And those chocolate habbies are like turquoise-ish bluish. And here we go with the box rocks. All kinds of 7 pots, scorpions. Beautiful colors. Hope it comes through better than I'm seeing it. And that's the oil. That's the only thing I can figure is it's the oil that makes them hot. And this is how it reflects with shortwave UV. That's just a little interesting side note. Okay, now I'm going to show you. These are the chocolate scorpions here on the left. You see they got the stingers there. Brown scorpions is better, I guess. You see them there. And then these are the chocolate habaneros on the right. They're smoother. They don't have they got a rounded bottom on them. See them both together. And if you've grown them enough, you can tell the difference. Even though they're pretty much the same color, the scorpion is just a little bit hotter. I really can't tell that much difference in the heat, but the flavor is definitely different. And there's my helper. Cleaning herself up. Okay, I'm here with Bobby, another one of my pepper buddies, and we're going to show this tote here. And my goodness, let's see, we're just peppered out. That's probably, pick that up. I would say that's what, 40, 50 pounds?
Oh, maybe 25, 30.
20, 30 pounds?
It's heavy though.
And here's some more of these scorchers here. These 7 pots. How's those 7 pots, Bobby? He bit into one. He bit the whole. Here, you wanna chow down on one? And he's hot pepperish, and he had a man. He bit into it, and I'm like, man, that might be a little bit too much. There's one that's got some funk on it. Throw it away. And I got another bucket or two also. And but we're just tired of picking. Me and Bobby are doing another. I don't know if we're going to have another. I don't know if we're going to have the energy to do another harvest. And you can see we've been working out here for at least a couple of hours, and you can't even tell that we've picked any peppers. Look at how loaded this reaper here is. Look at that. And then these 7 pots here. But I want to show you that how high this is. This is October, I think the 14th or 15th, something like that. So middle of October, and you can see how tall these plants are. And the tallest ones are still all having to do with the super exotics. They just kept going. And some of these got a stem on them half the size of my arm. And I don't think I'm going to be able to pull them up this year like I usually do. I think I'm going to have to actually shovel them up. And here was another one here. This guy here was loaded with soup. Oh, okay, here. That happened since we picked. Since we harvested this plant 2 hours ago, that ripened. One of the plants that was just so loaded with peppers, and then the wind blows it, and the branch just breaks off. Now, get back and show how big this 7 pot here is. Yeah, this is no, it's a scorpion. Scorpion. Look at the size of this sucker. It's that wide. Huge, huge. And this one here is is some kind of scorpion, and it's just covered with blossoms. There must be 100 blossoms on it. And this one here on the front line, that's some kind of scorpion or chocolate hab or something. Let's get a shot of those. Ryan here likes those trees back there changing color. And now we're gonna walk through. Now he's saying that these things have really grown since he's been here. It's about 3 weeks, ain't it?
3, 4 weeks, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna. And this is these are some more of those 7 pots. And you know how Chris ate one of those reapers?
Yes, he did.
The other day, Bobby was out here, and I told him, I said, well, these taste real green. I said, just bite the stinger off. He bit about that much of it off. And he damn near went down.
He was a hurting.
He was hurting. He said, man, I've never had a pepper hit me like that. But this thing's loaded again. And there's some more super exotics in here. And in here. And some of these, we got the other day, let's see, last Saturday, we got probably, between him and me, probably another 50 pounds. And we just got tired of picking peppers. And this guy here, you see how it topped out.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
And it's also a 7-pot. And this is just as sad. This thing is it's just hammered with peppers. And I don't have gloves on now, but I should actually have on gloves. But there's some really good stuff in here. And oops. Let me go around from here.
Now he's hiding behind the bush.
Exotic stuff. And you see, these guys just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you could come around this way here and get a shot of this little group in here. And this year, I'll bite that. The little tip off of them, but that's it. That's it. Get the stinger. Whenever you're tasting these to see how green they are, you just want to bite the stinger. That's it. But by this time last year, it was already cooling down. I mean, it's nice. It's in the 70s, I guess, right now. And the frost has delayed. Last year we had kind of an early frost, and I covered everything up. Then I covered everything up again, and then it was just going to frost, so I didn't mess with it. But this year we have we've had a delayed frost. We have it's I guess the 18th or the 19th of October. It's towards the end of October, over halfway, and we have not had a frost, which is very unusual. But if you could come over here and get a shot of these suckers in here, and this one, I believe it was this one here that the inside of it broke. See, this one was that one, and that's one that the wind blew them, and they broke. It broke. The main part of it, you can't even tell. You can't even tell which one it was. And these are all Jeanettes in here. If you want some more Jeanettes, you feel free to take as many as you want.
Oh, I'm good for a while.
Them
things light me on fire.
Of these here are reapers. This little reaper plant here was the first one to croak. I guess, and I guess it was me because it was a transplant, but it still kept going. I picked them.
You still got plenty of peppers on there.
Yeah, and they're sweet hot too. They're pretty daggone warm. And this guy here is just covered. These two guys here are just covered. And it seemed like in the end that just about every plant had about a bucket and a half or a bucket and 3/4. Some of them actually, I've gotten 2 buckets, 2 5-gallon buckets off of the plant. That's how many.
That's a lot.
A lot.
That is a lot.
A lot. So, and my big garden helper, my big cat, he was here last time you were here.
Yep.
Still, but he's been gone now for 3 weeks tomorrow.
Oh, he's out found him a woman.
No, he's out found him a grave. He was over there, and he went through a seizure. And it was a mild seizure compared to his other seizures. So I just left him there for a few minutes, let him calm down, get his orientation. Went to go get him, and he was gone, and he hasn't been seen since.
Boy.
Right here. I know he's right in here somewhere, and I haven't smelled any death. So as long as I haven't smelled a dead animal, I think he could be still alive.
Out in the wilds of Skilla Fork Bottoms.
Exactly. He could very well be. So anyway, that's another little update, and we're going to be harvesting again, not this coming weekend, but weekend after this, and that'll probably be the last one. Then I'll start to pull all these plants up or shovel them up, and put them over here, and let people get whatever peppers they want.
So come one, come all. There's plenty.
And I tell you what, when it comes to these guys, man, they are just so hot. I think they're to me they hit harder than the reapers.
Ooh.
And they don't have the same, and that's what Bobby was thinking too. You know, hey man, them suckers are hot.
The scorpion
Here you go,
tail
Bobby.
will let you know.
Have a half of that one right there. Yeah. Now, I'm not so sure that this has that much to do with how ginormous my plants got this year, but I guess I need to point it out that these plants, all through the season, were never in total darkness because I got this big LED light over them, and so and I actually was picking peppers before at night, or watering them, or staking them up. I've got plenty of light here to work even after the sun goes down. And I wonder if this has something to do with how ginormous those 7 pots back there and all these reapers and Madame Jeanettes and scorpions. I just wonder if that had a lot to do. I mean, it's the dead of night, it's very late, and you can still see that these plants are just covered with peppers. Beautiful pepper garden. Okay, last year was the first year I had this pepper garden here, and I was looking for a tiller, and gasoline at that time was $5.25 a gallon. That's me. I'm the gas pump bandit from Whisper. And I started looking. Well, you know, what about an electric? And I said, I'm too old to start pulling. I don't like the smell of the exhaust, and I can't say that it's good for the plants to have all that gas and oil and stuff burning in your garden. I don't understand that. So I bought this online for like 160 bucks. And what I have is, I've got power cord plugged in inside there. Just to show you what it does. This is a Sunjoe. Doesn't make a lot of noise. The tines are easy to clean. You just turn it over. You don't have to worry about gas or oil leaking out of it. And I as my plants got bigger, and it's being 16-inch, I could weave it in and out of my plants until they really started kicking. I only had to, I ran over it twice before I planted, and I only hit it twice for the weeds. And I had to, these are the handles, I taped them up so they wouldn't be yanking on the limbs. And I also used this right here. A few pounds of this in here. And this is exactly the opposite of what they tell you on YouTube. Use Miracle-Gro to fertilize your live. Use a 5-10-10 or a 2-10-10 or a 10-20-20. And this is a 2100 ammonium sulfate. Completely the opposite end of the spectrum from what everybody uses. And but ammonium sulfate, and it's just the exact opposite of what they recommend. All right, now we're going to just show some of these. Some of these plants were really fruitful, and this looks like brown scorpions, and and the same thing with the reapers. Just because their peach reaper doesn't have anything to do with the flavor at all. It just means the color. Chocolate this, chocolate that. Unbelievable. Let's see if we can get a shot in here of these. And we're gonna, after we get the peppers off of this one, I'm gonna dig it up to show you the root system. This is a 7-pot, and it's the tallest one in the garden, I think. It's got three rivals. And this one here just covered with 7 pots. Rotten one there. And the rotten ones, I just throw them out of the garden. Another 7-pot. And that one, we've already got the peppers off of that one. And this one here, I believe this is a scorpion of some description. It does have that heavy flavor to it. Hot. They're just really too hot to eat. You got to use caution. This is not a playground for children, I guarantee you that. Okay, this is what we have determined to be the tallest plant here. And we picked all the ripe peppers off of it. It's still covered with greens. And we're going to dig it up now and see the root system on it. And what you see me doing here, I'll be doing to every plant here. When we pulled the stakes up on here, there were 10 stakes holding this plant up. 10. There we go. There we go. And that is a root system for a pepper plant. And several of these stalks are bigger, or about as big around as my thumb. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stalks coming out of it. Look at that. And we'll just throw it over here to the side. What we'll do to all of these. Okay, it's starting to rain a little bit. And with this harvest, it actually looks like we've done something. There's been so many times that I've picked and picked and picked, and this is the final. We've already pulled up several plants here, and there's some more on the other side, and just all kinds of stakes. Been pulling up stakes too, and I think I used over 300, maybe 400 stakes. This is the this is like the third pile of stakes, but it looks like we really did a number on the Jeanettes and the reapers, but there's still so many reapers out there. But now we're just standing up and we're not messing with anything that's close to the ground. I'm not on my hands and knees, just picking the big. They're cleaner and on the top, easier to get to. You're saying that's the most we picked?
Yeah. I bet that's that is literally close to 50 pounds.
50 pounds. And we left probably another 150 out there. Overall, this harvest, I mean, this year, probably, I'd say 250, 300 pounds. And it's just starting to rain a bit. And poor Bobby, one of those 7 pots that he had last week, I broke one open and just touched it. Well, you broke it open.
Yeah, I broke it open.
You broke it open, and I touched my tongue to it, and it burned me for 15 minutes. And that's all I did. I had to go grab another Founders.
Now you know why I started shaking.
Oh, heck yeah. I knew. When I handed it to you, I just wanted you to bite the little stinger off of it. But no, you bit right into it.
I bit the whole thing.
Oh, man. That is good. Wow. And these are all good peppers. I mean, there's no rotten ones in here. We throw the rotten ones away. It's the end of the season for sure, and we've had 2 or 3 hard freezes earlier this week. Bobby and I got most of them out right before the freeze, and we knew that this is what happens. And so now I've got the arduous task of removing all these and pulling up the roots and piling them all up over there or somewhere else. As you can see, man, and they really are. Instead of that, they're just real mushy. You can still eat them, but they're not what they could be. So let's get busy. Let's get to work on it. Okay, here's a shot of the peppers that we grew. Just an overview. The brown scorpions, 7 pots, Madame Jeanette's reapers, and the chocolate habanero. Madame Jeanette's, and these are what we're going to be seeding for next year. What I ended up doing on these plants that are just really sprawled out and huge, I ended up having to cut some of the branches just so I could get underneath it with my shovel. And there's my helper. She's going to wonder what happened to her forest. And she is a tortie with tortitude. I do not recommend a tortoiseshell to somebody who's not experienced with cats. She's too much. She's too much. I don't think I can get her any kind of playmate because I think she would just tear into him. She's a wild cat. Aren't you, girl? Aren't you? Isis. What's happening to my forest? I have my own forest. Now you can see a little bit better shot here. I was still probably, I would say, between 80 and 100 pounds. By the time me and Bobby got tired, we just were pulling off the top. We weren't down on the ground anymore. And it's worked out a whole lot better trimming back all these branches. I'm going to do it to all of them as far as getting it out of the ground and shaking all the dirt off of the roots. What do you think about that, girl? She's just loving digging in this garden in these new holes. Can you hardly see her? Camouflaged. Now I've completed this step, pulled up all the plants. I don't know where my helper is. She ran off. She's probably mad at me now. And I've got about 10 piles of leftover peppers. I raked everything up into these piles here. And now I'm going to be putting them in the garbage can there and dumping them off the ridge. And then I'll probably till it up today because the soil's just perfect. And I'll worry about these later. Let them dry up a little bit. And burn them. Well, there you have it. Everything's cleaned up. I tilled it, and then I raked out the high spots, and I put another couple of pounds, or at least 2.5 pounds of nitrogen that I tilled in, ready for next year. All in all today, about 2.5 hours to do all that. Maybe adding something in here next year, maybe some Cascade hops. We'll just have to wait and see. Here's my helper. She's playing with a shrew there, aren't you? That's my shrew. Here, I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab it. No, you're not, Daddy. That's mine. Well, I'm pretty sure this is the last of the garden videos. I felt like I needed to show you what I do with them after I pull them up. I got my little burn cage going on here, and I'll be burning these. Let's grab here some here on the top. Throw a couple in there. Take a couple of days maybe to get them going. Big pile of stuff. That was playing in there in the cabin there is the new Glasshammer CD, Arise. Incredible CD. Glasshammer.com. It's just an incredible work of art. Beautiful. And just so loaded with so many surprises. How many times recently have you listened to something that was just absolutely got one surprise after another in it? But anyway, there's there. We'll be tackling this over the next couple of days. It's gonna be a lot of work. And that smoke is just horrendous. You get anywhere near it, it just makes you cough like crazy.